Welcome back to Black Girl Diagnosed. Today we're joined by Kayla Smith, an autistic disability justice advocate dedicated to amplifying Black autistic voices and creating greater representation within the autism community. Since beginning her advocacy work in 2017, Kayla has used her platform to raise awareness about the intersection of autism and race and to celebrate the experiences of Black autistic people. She is the creator of Black Autistic Pride, a movement centered on embracing both Blackness and autism with pride. In addition to her advocacy, Kayla recently earned her master's degree in accounting and is working towards becoming a certified public accountant. We're excited to have her with us today. She's someone that I have followed since I got on Instagram and since I started doing advocacy. So we're really happy for you to be here, Kayla, and welcome to Black Girl Diagnosed.
I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, thank you. So let's just get right into things. Because I know that these are things that like a lot of people want to know who don't already know who you are. Can you share your journey as a Black autistic queer woman and how each part of your identity has shaped who you are today?
Yes, definitely. So a little bit about me. I was diagnosed, being autistic at 2 years old, and I'm from North Carolina. So I'm the youngest of seven. Well, the sixth on my dad's side, and the second youngest on my mom's side. So basically, of course, being black, of course, that first before everything.
Yes.
Black culture, you learn about Martin Luther King, talk about black history, our history basically being in America. And at the same time, I'm not aware, about my autism at the time when I was young. I just being a kid, not
Yes.
not being aware, but I kind of noticed whether I'm going to speech therapy, growing up, um, speech therapy, and also being with people like also have the same disability as me or different. And I didn't know that at first, but and also as well having somebody, thinking they were babysitting me, but the whole time they got helped me on working on my vocational skills
Hmm.
growing up until high school. So even throughout my life, like I'm know I'm kind of weird, but I can't explain why I was weird until learning about my diagnosis. I was 10 when my mom told me about it. And I'm like, oh, okay, blah, blah, blah. But, going from middle school and high school, I think I struggle with myself accepting about my disability, like wish I was normal, why I'm thinking this way, and yes, I got bullied for it, for how I think thing. It just for a long time it just I was like really like angry and wish I was normal kind of vibe and trying to suppress my autistic trait so I could fit in, journey that one. And thought about, unalive myself at 16, but I didn't do it. But I kind of struggled with my autistic identity for a very long time. And then not only that, I was struggling with my sexuality as well. I was confused. I do like
Yeah.
guys, but do I like girls? It's kind of like going on as well as you know going through my spirituality because I was going to church in and out growing up, but it's like in and out. But even I thought questioning about why me, God, why I had to be autistic, blah blah.
Yeah. Mhm.
I kind of struggled with that for a long time as well as and being a black woman in America. It's just a lot thing.
It is.
But
And I definitely I feel you on everything that you're saying. Growing up, being confused, knowing that you're different, being bullied, and probably just 4 years ago, I realized that I was asexual. So many things that you're saying right now, I'm like, oh my God, I feel this so much.
it just then, I think 3 years later, no, when I first started on Twitter, now X, then when I started learning about the disability community as well as the autism community, And that when I started to unlearn about my, internalized ableism and kind of brace it a little bit at the same time. And then I started to learn, about autism and race and found out that black autistic people are more likely to be misdiagnosed due to, the racism and the sex, all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I did some little research on girls and autism, but not about race. But I think I did before, but there wasn't much information back then. But it's more now because people speaking now, I'm speaking now, and other people speaking now about autism and race and all that jazz. Is as I just talk about intersectionality, some people, mostly who are privileged, don't understand why you gotta talk
Mhm.
about it.
Yes, I get that all the
Not
time.
everybody like you, honey.
And that's why I block people because I hate when I especially hate when they come to my page and I'm speaking about my experience as a black autistic woman and something that I went through. And a white autistic person will be like, oh, it's not just you black people. I went through that too. And I'm just like, first of all, it's nothing is going to be the same for us because you don't understand black culture and you also don't understand your privilege.
Exactly. And I bet you seeing that part right throughout my advocacy before I say deuces in 2021 and I never went back then. I think mostly white autistic, autistic white autistic peers or privileged autistic, they did not realize that the thing they be saying, it be like anti-black, whole lot of racism, whole lot of internalized ableism. It's a
That,
whole
yeah,
lot because
they don't, and that's the perfect thing to say. Like for the next question that I have for you, you created Black Autistic Pride. So was this something that inspired you to start the movement? And what does Black Autistic Pride mean to you personally?
yeah, well, of course, I learned by myself and being autistic, and also doing some little research. I'm like, autism, in blood. I'm like, why didn't no awareness? I'm like, that is interesting because how autism being displayed in the media, and also research, and how autism was displayed at the beginning of time when it first introduced to the world as a white guy who autistic and privileged.
Hmm.
And just how girls, black or brown people get misdiagnosed because due to the, what being displayed. And but thing had changed, but it's still, a white guy with autism. But it kind of simpler now the white woman with who are autistic or appear, it just it's a wild thing. When I
Yeah,
first, when I first introduced it, it kind of like wondrous at first, but then I kind of thought about it. It happened during Autism Awareness Month back in
mhm.
2018. It kind of weathered at first when I kind of put thought to it, and then called do my tiny bit of research on it. I'm like, yeah, we need to spread awareness. Like I know, like I had to be proud of being black, cause black before everything. Of
That's how
course,
I
I
feel.
got
I always say that I'm like I'm gonna always defend my race before I defend my disability.
hmm And like I know, like I said with Black Pride, ever since I could remember. But then I kind of struggled with autism. My like, what's that, baby? Both Black Autistic Pride. It was Autistic Black Pride, but of course I changed it a few years later and it turned to Black because I'm Black before everything. So,
That's right. That's right. Like self-acceptance can, I know for me, at least it was a long journey and it's a long journey for many autistic people. What did your path to accepting yourself look like and what lessons have you learned along the way?
mm, what a lesson. Ooh, yeah. My old self, my teenage self, preteen, I would struggling who I am. Maybe I have a little bit of identity crisis. Like I know being black. Okay. But of course you kind of, being black, in general, it's like you can't do such a, oh, black people don't do this, blah, blah, But
Yeah.
of course I be get saying like you act white, I guess, different interests. But it just, I know majority of the time you used to be surrounded by my, being my artistic identity, struggle with that for pretty much for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, being a woman, I ain't had no problem with that. But my sexuality, I was kind of questioning throughout my year until I came out 5 years ago as
Mm-hmm.
bisexual.
All right.
And so for me to be autistic, I did not like myself. I was a miserable woman.
Mm-hmm.
My mindset
You're
was so
allowed to
negative.
you're allowed to curse here. I just wanted to throw that in there.
Like, like I could, the world I'm living, like I was so fucking negative. It don't make sense. And you seen the old me, I was so negative. It don't make no sense. I was angry and resentful and bitter at the same, or just being an angry black woman. But it just over the years I learned about my, unlearned about my disability, unlearned about a lot of things in culture, like what people want you to be because your race, your gender, your sexuality, your disability. All my life I be put in a box,
Yeah.
whether it be family, friends, society. And I always kind of questioned that for a very long time, like, why I'm doing it. And every time I try to fit the society, I do not please myself.
Right.
And now I'm older, and I'm like, fuck these standards. I'm the
Exactly.
standard.
Exactly. Like
Not here to please others. I'm here to please me.
that's how I feel. And like, when I got diagnosed, I didn't tell anyone for a long time. I was like, black people aren't autistic. This is bullshit. They don't know what they're talking about. They're not diagnosing me correctly. But I was autistic, and once I accepted it, it made sense. I'm like, okay, bitch, well, this is why you can't do this. This is why you communicate the way you communicate. This is why sometimes you don't communicate. So many things made sense because I'm late diagnosed. I'm a millennial. I was only diagnosed about 10 years ago. So learning about my diagnosis, I was just like, because I was called like the angry black woman, but I'm like, well, even if I was, black women have every right to be angry. Look how we're treated in this world. We're the most disrespected people in the country, in the world. So everybody just thought, yeah, she's the angry black woman, and nobody even took into consideration that I might be autistic or I might be, be neurodivergent, have some type of neurodivergency. So like the way that we are sometimes labeled by others, they don't understand how that can rub off, and then we start to like put those things in our mind that, oh yeah, well, maybe I am this or maybe I am that. But I'm personally not a fan of like white people like minding too much black business.
That one. Did like or even ask her like what I put to say and nothing. They keep forgetting that not every black person is the same.
Yes, exactly. And like, while I appreciate my allies, sometimes you do have to also remind your white allies that this particular topic is not for you to speak on. You can share it, you can like it, you can leave comments, but this is not for you to speak on because you don't experience black culture, so there's no way for you to know how these things affect us. So, like I said, I appreciate my allies, but sometimes they do overstep because they're still not understanding their white privilege.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I kind of like left the autistic community because that one, of course, the racism part, whole lot of the internalized ableism in the autistic community. Like, I kind of noticed like we're very unhealed from our own experience growing up, and we
Hmm.
kind of lash out on the parent, which I probably did. I will admit it. But I kind of noticed a little bit. They kind of put it out on black parents. They're trying to understand about autism. And I know something they do that. Like, oh, this, you the puzzle. I'm like, baby, hold up. I noticed that a little bit. They kind of be hard on the black parents. they
Yes.
were they the counterpart. Like I know that a little bit. I'm like, well, well,
Yeah, yes,
hello.
absolutely. I've had people say to me like, "Oh, well, how did your parents miss you being autistic all the time?" And I have to tell them, I'm like, again, I'm a millennial. Back then, what black autistic person did you see? What black autistic representation was there? I'm like, and first of all, also my parents were young. They didn't even know what anxiety was. I had bad anxiety at night. They didn't know what that was. They didn't know any of that. And it was even one point, like when I was going through that period of like, trying to navigate from being a teenager to a young adult, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And my parents were pushing me, but I had already like gone as far as I could, but since they didn't know that I was autistic, I kind of got like pushback from them and they were like, "Oh, you're just being lazy and you don't want to do anything." But I was trying my best. I just like developmentally couldn't go any further than I had already went. So, black parents do get blamed a lot, but I feel like it's unfair because who has taught and educated black parents about autism?
Even my mom and I know about autism at the time. Rest in peace,
Mhm.
my mom. My mom had passed
Rest in
away
peace to your
last
mom.
year from
Rest in peace to your mom. Grief is hard for
yeah.
autistic people. I know
Mm,
it's hard for everybody, but we
yeah.
carry it differently. I lost my mom like a few months before I got diagnosed, so she never even found out like why I was so difficult or why I was so different.
Mhm.
It's definitely something that I wish she could have learned, but it just didn't happen. But I wanted to ask, why is it so important for Black autistic people to see themselves represented in the autism community and in advocacy spaces? Me personally, I don't feel like a lot of autistic spaces are safe for Black autistic people.
Yeah, like, especially when I first joined the autism community, it mostly our peers who mostly privileged. And it just and plus like go back to how autism was being represented and who are being represented in the community. And now how our voices get big, pushed to the side. And I realized that I like we need telling our allies and even ourselves like spread our voices and to share our experience because I ain't see no a black autistic person growing up, so I kind of my own person and also know people who I grew up with in school who also autistic and black,
Oh, okay.
and we need more weapons. We need some more people who look like us because it ain't fair because like or 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 people say autism is a spectrum. It's not gonna be the same for every autistic person, whether it comes to race, gender, sexuality, different disability, class. It's gonna be different. Like it is very
Yeah.
important to share our experience because there probably black parent out there who I don't know what the hell autism is, and I don't blame
Yes.
them due to the
And
stereotype about autism.
there is terribly like there was just a post the other day. I don't follow the mother, but I see her videos all the time. She showed her daughter having a meltdown, and it was just like most of the negative comments was from black people. And I was like, this is just like a lack of education. And I know sometimes people just want to go viral and stuff like that, but some of the comments were disgusting. And I'm just like, this again is from like the lack of education and the way that autism has been stigmatized in the black community. Just like even mental health is still severely stigmatized in the black community. So imagine autism and other disabilities.
Yeah, definitely. Like, and also I feel because due to especially black people in America having been through slavery, Jim Crow war, all this stuff, we just experienced trauma after trauma and
Yes.
racism after racism. We kind of in survival mode majority
I
of the
feel that.
time.
Yes,
And it could be why our parents, our families trying to put in that survival mode because, being black in America, it gonna be overshadow your disability, who also got shot up or put in, you know, in jail because misunderstanding. And we all get criminalized and all this stereotyping. It's
yeah,
just,
that's what I
we're
always
not
say.
safe.
Not at all. And I always say this. I'm like, black children get punished and criminalized for things that white children get support for.
Hmm.
So, as someone who has chosen to live authentically, um, sharing that you were bisexual, what does being true to yourself look like today compared to when you first started your advocacy journey?
But now, like, I am accepting who I am as a person. Like, I'm not the same person I once was who trying to be people pleaser, trying to fit somebody society box. And if God made me as I am, this is who I am. I didn't come down in this damn earth to please people.
That's
I'm
right.
here to please me. And I kind of will like that, of course, talking to myself. Just, I be talking to myself all the time like, damn, damn.
Right. That
Like, I think, I think people ain't living authentically because they trying to fit somebody else's standards.
mm,
I tried to do that myself. Look at got me. Have a mental breakdown. Not liking myself throughout the years. And now, ever since I went to therapy back in 2021 and things like that, and I started to learn by myself, I'm like, dang, I think the reason I keep doing the thing, I try to please others, and I was not pleasing myself. I was miserable for a long damn time. And I realized for the first time in my life, I'm not trying to please people. I'm just gonna be my authentic self. Yes, it's gonna be hard because of course I had to be in survival mode due to who I am in the society, to being careful. But and also like I know throughout my life, you try to stand up for justice. Like they want you like, Kayla, I get it, but don't say this word, this word. And I'm like, just like we're going there with around the world right now. I had not
right.
been doing it for a minute because I was going to school because you be effective with what you say. You may not get a job because of this. And I had thought about, make my social media private, but now I realize I ain't gonna make it private. Like I don't want to be silent.
Right. And you shouldn't have to be.
Mm.
So my
And I
last
gotta make decisions
question,
there. Hmm.
my last question, well, not the last question, but winding things down, what message would you give to Black autistic people, especially like those who may be struggling like with self-acceptance or feeling like they don't belong?
Just find your own people.
Hmm.
And yes, it was gonna be hard, which I had experienced. I was younger, struggle with accepting, not finding people accept you who you are, and maybe put you in a bar and may not want to befriend you if you miss you have autism or being autistic. People put you in a box.
Yes,
People
they
don't want to
do.
be friends with you because that even though I had no problem telling people I had autism.
Right.
And
Me either.
even and
I
even
feel
people be
you.
surprised
I feel
that
you.
that I'm autistic. They're like, I thought autism supposed to be this certain way. I'm like, it may be true, but you keep forgetting not every autistic person is the same.
Yeah, and I don't know how long it's gonna take for people to realize that because it's said all the time. So that's why I'm just like, have you been listening? Do you listen to anything that autistic people have been trying to tell you and that autistic people have been trying to educate you about? But I can really relate where you say that it is hard to make friends and I don't have a lot of friends. I know a lot of people and I have a lot of acquaintances, but I don't have a lot of friends. I don't really have social skills. And then sometimes it's people's ignorance. They're like, oh, well, she's autistic. She's probably a little weird. I don't want to be her friend. So I feel that when you say that it's hard to make friends because it really is.
Even I got my master, even it's kind of hard for me to find some connections. So I'm kind of struggling with that a little bit. And also networking. It just, I think I don't want to like, I don't mind talking to people, but I'm kind of scared that people might put me in a box, like, oh, she kind of weird, and not knowing that I might be know this thing, or I'm being autistic. They kind of put me in a box, like a mission. People put me in a box all my damn life, and I'm
Well,
kind of getting sick of it. And you can't accept me as I am. Forget you, and kiss my booty hole, and kiss
yeah,
my
that's how
ass.
I feel.
So it's
Fuck you.
like,
Fuck you and kiss my ass.
yeah, like Joe, like make it sad, say fuck you, like you can't accept me as I am. What is the point? And I don't have many friends either. I'm very like have few friends. Like it seems like majority of the time I could relate to the most people who have a disability, same disability as me or different disability. Like we could relate, and that's the sad part.
But
And even people and even friends that they don't understand how you'll know this, how being autistic or being know this thing impact your life. They don't understand that something they be hard on me, and they're not understanding why I had to go through all the changes, especially you're autistic, all the changes like with my mom, for example, she passed away from bone cancer in October. Of course, I dealing with grief. Now I'm take care of my daddy who dealing with Parkinson's disease. It's just a whole lot of shift. And me try to juggle like what the beat going on and going to school at the same damn time and working. And then I got my master's last
yes,
month.
congratulations.
I did the damn thing. Like I feel I persevere. I this it seems like I persevere every damn thing. Whether I be in a mental state, like, depressed, I just persevere. I don't know how the hell I did it.
Well,
I
well,
just
the
do.
thing, the that's okay if you don't know how you did it. The point is that you did it. You know, you got your master's. That's something I could never do because, just because of some of my developmental challenges. Like sometimes people can't tell, like talking to me or looking at me, but I did try to um go to college and it just wasn't something that I was capable of doing. So big congratulations on that. I think it's amazing. I'm always rooting for you when I see your post. I'm like, I'm so proud of her and I'm just always rooting for her. She was one of the first people that I started following. Her advocacy has always been really important and something that everybody needs to see. So this can just bring me into my next question. Do you have any recent projects that you'd like to share?
I'm aware of, but for now I'm trying to find me a county job at this moment and trying to live life. Or I could, find, speak at different events if I see the opportunity, like Autism and Black conference. I did like twice.
Oh, wow.
And but other than that, if I see more opportunity to speak, thing like that, or be in a podcast, it don't matter. Like I kind of removed myself with the general autistic community 5 years ago because of all the racism shit in the community. But I kind of separate from that, so I'm just kind of focused on like Black autistic pride, focus on the Black community, about
Yeah, it
autism.
ain't nothing wrong with that. But um, so what do you want people to take away from this interview?
It just, one, not every autistic person is the same, especially a Black autistic person. That everybody life experience gonna be different every time. Don't put people in a box. And if you know someone or your family friend, do not isolate them. They need help too. What if you they friend but you no longer here and they need help?
Right, right. Thank you. Where can everyone find you?
Well, y'all could follow me on Instagram. Oh Lord. I think Black Autistic Pride. Um, TikTok. Oh Lord. I do have LinkedIn, but I try not to put
Well, you
out
are on
there. But
YouTube because I am subscribed to you.
yeah. Yes, Black Autistic Kayla, Black Autistic Kayla on yeah, Instagram, TikTok, and yeah, YouTube. I think I do have X. I think I put Kayla being me, if I believe. And but I do have a group thing called No Diversity in Black, but I had not been doing it because I was in school.
Hmm.
But I'm gonna try to get back at it because life been life for me.
Yes, same here. I just said that to somebody the other day. I was like, people that know me know that life has really lifed me. But I want to just thank you again so much for coming, joining me today, speaking with me, for sharing your powerful story and your wisdom with our guests. To our listeners, thank you for tuning in to Black Girl Diagnosed. Your presence and support means everything. Share this podcast with somebody who you think may need to learn more about Black autistic women or who just might enjoy the podcast. So until next time, take care and keep advocating with love.